Hey yo, this is Koi. Today I have the Letshuoer DX1. This is a one dynamic driver IEM by Letshuoer that costs $160. As for the unboxing, since this was a loaner unit from Jadis, we have a product photo instead to show everything that comes inside. You get 3 sets of ear tips, including a set of TRI Clarion, a puck style case, the cable, and the IEM itself. The case has a rubber top and a metal bottom. It holds the IEM well, but I found it to be a bit odd to use, specifically when opening and closing the rubber top. The DX1 features a metal shell with some gold accents. It looks kind of plain, not really exciting, and is just passable to me. The fit and comfort on the DX1 is excellent if you have small ears. It having a really small shell helps with people that have small ears, but may be a problem if you have bigger ears. For me, my ear is on the smaller side, and even I had to use a bigger ear tip like the TRI Clarion so that I am able to get a good fit on the DX1. Otherwise, it feels like it's gonna fall out. Also, there is a bit of driver flex on these, so it can be annoying when adjusting them in ears. The cable comes in 3.5 or 4.4mm termination and has a regular 2-pin connector. It is really thin and is a decent cable to use on the DX1. Now, how does the DX1 sound? The DX1 is a very mid-focus set. It has a bit of bass boost and decent treble, but can be overshadowed by the mid sometimes. Before we talk about the other section, I want to put into perspective how the DX1 sounds like compared to the neutral target and other IEMs. I have adjusted how I think the DX1 sounds like when I actually listen to it in comparison to the neutral target and the Moondrop DSP as an example. This part here, it scares me. I usually like a sound signature with a forward mid-range, but even this is too much for me. Other than that, the DX1 has a decent bass lift and treble that's not too far from the neutral target. The bass on the DX1 on the graph doesn't seem a lot, but as we compared it earlier with other IEMs, it's a decent amount. It's a balanced amount that most people can enjoy, but not really enough to satisfy a bass head. It has good texture and is overall a nice sounding dynamic driver bass. The mids, like I said earlier in the comparison, is a lot, making it feel unnaturally forward. This forwardness can be very nice for vocals, but can also make them sound a bit honky or nasally sometimes. Instruments like trumpet and piano can also sound a bit glaring. It just doesn't have a good balance and contrast with other parts of the frequencies, but if you really like mid-range, there are no IEMs that has a more forward mid-range than this that I can think of. The treble on the DX1 is fairly smooth, but lacks extension at the top end. My problem with the treble is that it feels overshadowed by the mids, making it sound a bit thin. Instruments like violins won't be the most natural sounding, as a lot of what you're hearing end up being the mids and the lower treble. For technicalities in gaming, the DX1 is not the best at both. It is lacking a bit of resolution and can feel congested. The only thing decent that I would say is the imaging and details. For gaming, it is absolutely horrible. It doesn't sound clear, and all I'm hearing are the mids, especially the frequency of the gunfires, making gaming on these very unenjoyable. For comparisons, let's take a look at the TRI i3 Mark III, one of my favorite IEM for its vocals and mid-range for the price. The DX1 sounds bassier and has an even more forward mid-range than the i3 Mark III to my ears. Comparing them side by side, I actually prefer the i3 Mark III for its slightly more natural vocals and overall presentation. The Defiant is another IEM that I recently reviewed for its great value and balance tuning for people like me that prefers a forward vocal presentation. Comparing them side by side, the Defiant has better bass and treble than the DX1. The mid-range is a lot more forward on the DX1 and doesn't feel as natural as the Defiant when it comes to vocals. Overall, the Letshuoer DX1 is a bit of a weird IEM to me. It has a unique tuning with a strong focus on the mid-range and is not the best in terms of technicalities in gaming. If you are someone who really likes your mid-range, the DX1 may be a great choice for you. Otherwise, I would highly suggest looking at other sets like the TRI i3 Mark III or even the juicier Defiant for the price. For $160, the DX1 is going to get a 1-star recommendation. This has been Koi. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you next time.